Welcome back. Are you ready to have some fun today? I hope so, because it's time to put in some trick plays.
We're not going to get a second chance in the game.
Welcome back to our series of Building Your Offense. This video series really designed for youth coaches or guys that are getting into coaching for the first time, which doesn't have to be at the youth level. It most commonly is, but this certainly does not have to be. But we also like to point out that, hey, a coach of many years could benefit from these videos because they just force you to think about what you're doing. And the more you critically analyze what you're doing, the higher your odds at success. Before I jump in, I want to say a huge thank you to our members. Our channel is running very smoothly, and I'm so thankful to have people who are supporting us by being members. Being a member gets you access to our massive video library. Touchdown members access our content from 2019 to 2023, and Game Winner members get our most recent productions from 2024 and then now into this winter, our 2025 productions. Big shout out to these guys for supporting, and last weekend our webinar went, what I think, really well. Would love to hear from you members on what you would like to hear in the future. What should our next webinar be? Be sure to leave a comment below. Back to the whiteboard. Today we're talking about gimmicks and trick plays. Now, coaches may define gimmicks in different ways. I define gimmicks as some sort of really big change of formation, let's say, but you still run the same play. A gimmick would be much lower risk than a trick play. So let's start with gimmicks. First of all, why would I want to run a gimmick? Well, a gimmick could be one super advantageous formation that helps you run your best play. The reason I can't use a gimmick more often is because this advantage is so big and obvious that teams would eventually adjust. But if I just jump into this once a game or twice a game, the team may not pick up on it or may not have time to adjust correctly. If you're coaching high school ball, a gimmick helps because it puts this on film. And now next week's opponent has to prepare for it. So let's just use the example of a toss play right now. Okay, we know that we're going to toss it out to our H-back who's very talented. So we could have one gimmick, let's call it Apollo, as in Rocky for right, Apollo for left. We're going to go Apollo. We go X over, and we know that our right tackle, he's a stud. So we're actually going to move our right tackle over as well. So let's just go. We will leave the whole formation intact. We're going to take our X and split him way out wide, and we're going to take our tackle and put him out with a little bit of a nasty split here. I'm making this up right now on the moment. We're going to take our fullback and split him out as well. Okay, so now all of these guys, they know how to block rocket or rocket toss, so these guys are blocking as they've been coached. This guy might be one of our best down blockers, so we're going to tell him line up wide enough in this nasty split to down block on the first linebacker. Boom, down block. This man is going to invert behind him and look inside. And, of course, these two are going to double team to the defensive back, for example. We're going to get a super toss here right out of the gate. We're going to come out. We're going to call this Apollo, line up in this formation, run rocket toss. Again, now, is that some sort of magical play? No. Like I said, I literally just made it up right now. But the reason I have used things like this in the past is because they are, again, what I said, it's a quick advantage. It puts something else on film and a very low cost for us. I can't use these too much because if I use these too much, we don't spend our practice time where it needs to be, which is being good at our base plays. But I can throw these in. One more quick example to give you a more realistic idea of things I have done in the past. We've been a team that has been very good at belly. So I like to just bring my best down blocker right here, and now we're going to run belly or G scheme right here behind it, down, down, pull, and kick. I put my tight end right outside of it because a lot of times they don't pick it up, and the outside edge set man just lines up a gap wider, which makes that alley right there for belly even better. And then I go some super twins or anything out here. I leave my fullback back there. Generally, I might bring this man here in motion. Anything to help get eyeballs with width. I want people to see width and guys to be flying this direction, and we'll run belly right inside of it. That is an example of a gimmick that I have used in the past. So again, you're talking very quick install, nothing much changes in rules. It's just easy to add, and really, if you ran it too much, would be a dead giveaway to what you want to do. But used sparingly could really help get a spark going when you're struggling to move the ball, or in a key 3rd and 1, all of a sudden you jump into this really advantageous formation and you pick up that much needed yard. Okay, let's go to trick plays. Now, I'm only going to talk about 3 trick plays today. I'm not going to teach you anything new. They're very common trick plays, but the idea is, why would I want to use trick plays? Trick plays can be important to carry because sustaining a long drive, 15-play drive, for example, you have to execute at a high level for 15 plays. That's hard to do. Inevitably, within 15 plays, the odds are fairly high that eventually you make a mistake. Maybe you fumble a ball, or the other team blitzes in the exact right spot, and it puts you in a huge negative situation. Trick plays can be nice because one, maybe twice a game, you end up with a really big chunk yardage play. Instead of smashing away with good football and getting your 4 or 5 yards, boom, all of a sudden there's one chunk of 40 yards. Or if it really goes well, you rip one off and score right now. If you were building this offense alongside of me, I'm just going to use the 3 simplest trick plays I would carry, and I would not have them all ready for week 1. I would pick one that I wanted ready for week 1. And after I had run that one, maybe if things are going well for us, the next week I might install another. You cannot spend too much time on your trick plays. You're talking, I usually run my trick plays once a practice. We have a segment at the end of practice where we run our trick plays once and we move on. If you're spending too much time on it, well, you're not good at your base offense. So let's talk about trick play staple number 1 that really you should carry. Whatever your horizontal stretch play, what is your play that gets people going sideline? Okay, so for us, we said it's toss. We want to run reverse. On go, your receiver that is out there is going to, you could have him, you time it up, figure out what the timing is. For the most part, we just tell our receiver out there to begin to come this way. He's going to go behind the halfback, and he wants to be at about a 3-yard distance, a comfortable distance for an easy toss. So my quarterback is going to toss it on toss, and then my halfback, after he catches it, is going to toss it to the receiver. Like I said, you know reverse. I don't need to teach you reverse. Generally, I will have my quarterback reverse out and see if he can get nosy out here and pick up that one block that was needed to spring it. Because almost never fails, you've fooled 10 of their men, but you haven't fooled all 11. I don't personally like using the install time to draw up special blocking to this. I would just have everybody block rocket as if we were running it. But this reverse play can spring that one really big play per game that helps so that you don't have to put 15 play drives together on repeat. Also, when you run this, you tend to see a little bit less pursuit from the backside. So all these people here on the backside of rocket toss can't just go flying because now they're worried about reverse. The other great little trick play is a toss pass. Now you can be victim here on whether or not your halfback can throw. I know he'll tell you he can throw, but can he throw? Because you have to be able to throw under a little bit of duress. I'm not saying that you're going to be getting mugged, but there's going to be people there always on toss pass. So you need a pretty good athlete, and you have to be pretty good at toss. If you're not good at toss pass isn't going to work. So this man inevitably is going to come out and he wants to break his feet down and make it look like he's blocking. Once he sees this man pull the trigger and go, Now he's going to release vertical. Okay, my line there is coming from the defender. It's supposed to be your receiver. Your halfback catches the toss, and generally speaking, instead of running at the line of scrimmage, he stays flat and almost gains a little bit of depth. He's almost going slightly backwards. That's to just buy himself some time. And he's going to pull up and throw that thing deep. Now, when I say deep, you really don't want this to be that long of a throw. The further this throw is, the lower the odds are of completing it. So you'd really like it to be like a 20-yard throw. It needs to be not all that hard. You really just got to get by this defender. One more little wrinkle. I do prefer it out of a Twins look because now this second receiver, I could use him to help protect. I don't send him deep. I keep him right here. Now, if he's blocking, he has to be at or behind the line of scrimmage. I'll leave him right here to help take that edge defender and just buy my toss man an extra tick of a second. The last trick play I'm likely going to carry on a season is a hook and ladder. Now, I would not run this if I had little kids, but if my kids were closer to 11, 12 years old, I would run a hook and ladder, especially because the hitch, simple 5-yard hitch, 6 back to 5, is a staple of our offense. So we're going to block this like quick game. We're going to run our quick game the way we always do. I'm going to make sure that my fullback goes left. Go left. Where's my arrow? I'm going to make sure my fullback goes left and my halfback goes right in the blocking. I'm going to zip this hitch out there, and my halfback, instead of going right here at the line of scrimmage, is going to begin to head to the hitch. He's going to head to the hitch, and he's got to time it up so he's there right after that guy catches it, and he's going to go about 3 to 5 yards outside of his man, because he's going to catch a pitch. Right as soon as that guy catches it, he pitches it here to the outside. If you have some pretty solid athletes, this is surprisingly, I'm scared to say the word easy. It's executable. This is a doable trick play that actually is not all that high of risk. Now, before I dive into details and coaching points of this play, as I said, this video is really not about how to do the trick plays. You can figure out how to do these trick plays. But this is really about why carry the tricks. Because it's going to spring that big play. And when your defense and the kids on the other side and the coaches on the other side of the ball are worried about that trick, it really forces them to be less aggressive in their defense. So I do believe that carrying some tricks in your bag is important. I just can't emphasize enough how careful you have to be that the tricks aren't too big of a part of your offense. What's your favorite trick play? Or what trick play was good to you last season? Please leave that comment below. I love to hear from you guys. And if you have a thought about what our next webinar should be, we want to hear that as well. We'll see you guys back here next week, and we'll finish off our offensive install talking about situations.